Hey everyone, Chris here for Thomann Guitars and Basses. We're at NAMM 25 and I'm standing here at the Friedman booth with Dave Friedman. Hey Dave.
How are you?
Now much better now to see you and I see this beast. And what's new? What's new this year?
So we decided this year, I'm sure everyone's heard about it already, to do a Jose Arredondo tribute amplifier. I was in contact with the family, so we decided to do a tribute amplifier with Jose's daughter, who's here. She's here at the show today. Yeah, she's behind you, actually. Yes. And,
oh my God.
And he invented it practically for the Marshalls. You know what I mean? He pretty much invented it, and I knew him. I had an amp done by him when I was 18 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And I knew him. I was friendly with him, at least up until his death in the early 90s. And just seemed a very fitting thing to do a tribute amplifier and with the family involved with this amp. So really, it's a tribute to him.
Wow. So when you say tribute and family involved, is it like the rights are sometimes weird to handle? How do you go on about it?
It's not really like the rights. There was rights to the circuit or the rights to anything, but to feel right and feel respectful to the family, we decided to involve the family. You know, she was on our Tone Talk show, and it was a great interview, and it was fun. Talk about the old days when she was a kid, and she used to recone speakers for her dad. Yeah, I didn't know that. That was great. And so it's just basically a tribute to him, you know. So we put everything in this amp that I had seen in all these famous amps that I mounted.
Okay, so I am not a technician. I don't know 1% of what you know about it, but I know that he used an additional preamp tube in conjunction with clipping diodes, I think, to give it more gain and tightness.
There was a basic mod that was originally it was called the 3-in-1 mod.
Okay.
That amp just had a regular old master, no clipping, and an extra preamp tube. Sort of like you put a boost, extra preamp boost into a 4-input Marshall.
Extra gain stage
with master added. So you're just pushing the front end of this amp. And then there was another version that he had that had 2 styles of masters. That was a push-pull master volume, and there were clipping diodes involved with either way, but to a less extent with what we call the post-EQ master, and there's a pre-EQ master. That was the 2 style masters. One was before the EQ, one was after the EQ. They both had clipping diodes. The one before the EQ had a different response and a higher gain.
Okay.
The one after was gainier with the clipping diodes, but not the same blown up response.
Gotcha.
He described that as if you're at home and you want that blown up, cranked up sound, the pulled out mode was what would do that. Yeah. So what we've done is we put all this stuff in this amp with a little less archaic switching.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that he originally did were a little bit could have been done better. Let's put it that way. So yeah. So that's it. It's a single channel amp and it has all the sounds. You could do a million things with it, from a stock Marshall style amp to a full blown high gain.
Is it based like the 1959 kind of architecture?
I mean, at its heart, yes. Yeah, at its heart, yes. Yeah. First, there were different eras of amps that he did, unmodded, that I've seen, that have 2 distinctly different styles of presence circuits. So the presence circuit, the N present, which is newer presence, and V presence is vintage presence.
Wow.
So the vintage presence, when the switch is that way, it's on the vintage presence. It is more like a standard Plexi presence, very high end. The other way was done in later 70s, which was a 0.68 capacitor, which is more into the mid-range. And so when you start cranking that, you're hearing more of a mid instead of just the highs. That's a different tone. In some modes, it's better on that one, and in other modes, it's better on the other one. You can decide what you want. And then there's a gain style switch, which takes you from the basic Jose to the basic Jose with clipping diodes to the pre-EQ master with the clipping diodes, which was kind of popularized by like Fortin or Cameron or things like that over the time. And then you also have, you can take the first gain stage out, and you can have a Plexi mode.
Oh, gotcha. So like more stock.
If the gain style is in the middle, and you crank the master down there, it would be like a 4-input Marshall. But you can use all the gain styles. So you can use all the different styles of masters with the clipping diodes, even in the Plexi mode. And then the other way is the higher gain thing. And then there's a fat switch, which on a few amps I saw the front end was a little fatter and less lean. And a lot of these amps were pretty lean in the bass and tight. But I've seen some amps that had a fatter cap on the first stage. And then you can also, because it's a 4-input style amp, you have the bass and treble channel like on a normal, like a Plex or something like we have. You can blend also the bass channel in.
Both are active, even though there's just one input, they are linked.
If you're really going to lower the gain on the amp, you'd probably just use the gain knob to lower the gain. Because this is like an old Marshall, has a bright cap, big bright cap on the one. If you turn this down, it'll get tighter and leaner. So you understand that concept. I'm going to have to do a whopper of a video explaining how to use it all.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but I definitely want to play it first, so let's do that. Thanks so much, Dave.
Cool. Excellent. Cheers.